Hey, I think it's going, yeah. Okay, number 27, Hitch a Ride. Jack lived about 12 blocks from my home, in a poor neighborhood. I found his address in the school directory, then I went to see him. Jack's house was at the end of a short dead-end road called Leslie Street. An aged box of a home with chipped aluminum siding and faded cloth awnings. The front window had been broken and was covered with cardboard that was kept in place with duct tape. The yard was overgrown with weeds and parathynthia bushes. Oh, there's just big flowers. I can't pronounce it right. There were at least 6 cars at this house. Some of them parked on the grass or on the road in front. Most with flat tires and rusted bodies. Only 1 or 2 of them looked like they might actually run. I climbed over 3 steps to the astroturf-covered porch. The doorbell had yellowed masking tape over it with the word "broke" written in marker. I opened the rusted screen door and knocked on the wood door behind it. A minute or so later, Jack answered. He was wearing a t-shirt with sleeves cut off, exposing his muscular arms and shoulders, as well as his tattoo. I forced myself not to blink. "What do you want?" he asked. "I need to talk to you." "I'm listening." The TV was blaring behind him, and I wondered if someone else was inside. "Not here. I need to talk to you someplace more private." "Why?" "I just do." He looked at me for a moment, then stepped out of the front porch, shutting the door behind him. "Go ahead. My old man can't hear you." "I need a ride." "You think I'm a chauffeur now?" "To Pasadena." His face looked even more distressed. Isn't that like in California?" Yeah." "Man, what is this, a shakedown?" "I went to Dollstorm like you said. I'm not going to let you keep bullying me. I'll go to the teachers and tell them what you did." "Calm down," I said. "I'm not here to bully you. You're the only one I can go to with this." "Why not your old man?" Then your mother." "Don't you watch the news?" "No." "My mother was kidnapped. I'm pretty sure she's in Pasadena. That's why I need a ride there." "Why don't you call the police?" "It's complicated. They can't help." "Dude, I'm not driving all the way to California." I reached into my pocket and I pulled out a wad of bills I had taken from my mom's secret stash. "Look, I've got money. I'll pay you $300. It's all I've got." He eyed the money. I could tell he was wavering. "Where'd you get that kind of dough?" "It's my mom's emergency stash." $300, huh? "When do you need to go?" "As soon as possible." "Just us?" "And my friend, Austin." "What if I bring someone to help drive?" "Who?" "Wade?" "Wade." I hated Wade even more than Mitchell. Bye, Danny.
Bye.
Love you.
Me too.
But if you got me to California sooner, I'd deal with it, okay? "What do we do after we're there?" "You drop us off, and you're done. That's it? No ride back?" "No, I don't know how long we'll be." Jack looked over at his car, a restored 1980 Chevy Camaro with a navy blue body and yellow racing stripe. "And you want to leave today, huh?" "As soon as possible. I just need to get some things from my house and pick up Austin." He scratched his stomach and slowly exhaled. "Okay, I'll call Wade. Where do you live?" "Not far. Over by the 7-Eleven off 13th Street." We'll meet you at the 7-Eleven parking lot in an hour. Deal? I reached out my hand, and he just looked at it fearfully. I'm not going to shock you. He took my hand, and we shook. Deal. I walked back to the apartment and knocked on Austin's door. We leave in an hour. He looked at me as if I'd spoken in Chinese. Leave? Where? California. Didn't you think I was serious? With Jack? I nodded. Yeah. I purposely didn't say anything about Wade. Austin looked anxious enough without being thrown in the car with his arch enemy. He looked back over his shoulder. Man, my mom's gonna be so chapped at me. She was going to ground me until I'm 50. Ground you from what? I asked. Homework or clogging? We both knew that Austin pretty much spent all his time in his room anyway. From hanging out with you. Yeah, I said. Well, I wish my mom was around to ground me. I slid my hands in my pockets. Like I said, you don't have to go. I never said I wasn't going, he said. Let me get a few things. I'll be right there. About 10 minutes later, Austin knocked on my apartment door, then let himself in. He had a backpack that was mostly filled with junk food like potato chips and cheese puffs. What did you tell your mom? I told her I was going to hang out with you. She's going to be worried out of her skull, I said. She'll probably call the police. I thought of that. I taped a note to your door. It says, I went to Comic-Con with you and my uncle. Will she believe that? I don't know, but that's where my uncle is this week. He's so hardcore, he never takes his cell phone, so my mom can't check. Brilliant, I said. I picked up my bag. Ready? Let's do this. I looked out to make sure no one was watching. Then I locked our apartment door and we walked down the hall and out of the building. The 7-Eleven was only 50 yards from my home. Jack wasn't there yet, so we went inside and got cherry cola Slurpees and sat on the curb to wait. What if he doesn't come? Austin asked. He'll come. Besides, I'm paying him $300. Where'd you get $300? It's my mom's emergency fund. I rubbed one foot with the other. If there was ever an emergency, this is it. About 15 minutes later, Jack's Camaro pulled up to the parking lot and up to the gas pumps. There he is, I said. Austin squinted. Who's that in the car with him? Wade? Austin's eyes widened. You didn't tell me Wade was coming. Sorry, it was part of the deal. I hate Wade. It's no big deal. You don't understand. I really, really hate Wade. Like, if he were in the Shark Tank and reached up for me for help, I'd throw the chum in the water. Austin has a great imagination. Look, I said, we don't have a lot of options. Wade can help drive. Besides, he's not going to do anything to you. He's afraid of me. Austin just shook his head. This just keeps getting worse. Jack and Wade both climbed out of the car. Jack walked up to me. I need money for gas. I took the roll of bills out of my pocket and counted out 150. Here, half now, half when we get there. He stuck his jaw out a little. Fair enough. Wade looked at Austin and smiled. Hey, I know you. I didn't recognize you with your pants on. Stay away from me. Relax, Wade said. That was before I found out your friend's a taser. He smiled and went inside the store. Austin and I carried our packs over to the car. Jack opened the trunk and we put our things inside. Jack finished filling the car with gas about the time Wade came back out. He had pork rinds, mini donuts, beef jerky, and a 6-pack of Red Bull. Let's go, boys! Sitting back, Jack said to Wade. What? I want to talk to Michael. But back now. Wade scowled. Then Jack threw Jack in the bag of beef jerky and climbed into the back seat. Austin stared at me with a look of a man climbing into a snake pit, but he got in anyway. I shut my door, and Jack fired up the Camaro. I think he'd taken off the muffler to make it louder, because it roared like a jet. He looked over at me and smiled wryly. California, here we come.